Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the Bitcoin price right now as we just got on-chain data showing that miners are currently selling their Bitcoin, and it is officially a capitulation for miners, which is exactly what bottomed Bitcoin in 2018. And check this out, Snipers. Bitcoin's cyclical bottom was 780 to 880 days after each of its previous halvings. It's been 766 days since the last halving, and coincidentally, Bitcoin is also approaching its logarithmic support curve. And then look at this, time spent below the 20-month exponential moving average until the bottom is reached, historically 2 to 4 months. How long will it take this time? It is clear right now, Bitcoin, we've yet to breach the 2018 previous all-time high at 19,000 US dollars. There's a potential that we could breach below it, maybe to liquidate some of the institutions like Celsius. I know Three Arrows Capital began to get liquidated by BlockFi recently, and there is so much leverage in the market. We see this in every cycle, every bear market. All of the leverage will get wiped out before we see a rally back to the upside. And we're also seeing miners capitulate. I think it's about 34,000 US dollars right now for miners to become profitable, and we are way below that. So they are starting to sell their Bitcoin. We might even see some miners become insolvent and have to get acquired by other competitors. And so this is what happens during a bear market. All the leverage gets wiped out. Let's dive straight into the chart, Snipers. Smash like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support these midnight updates. Now, we got a very bearish daily close. Why? The equity markets sold off today. They lost all of their gains, actually forming new lows. Bitcoin's still holding strong. Why did Bitcoin not form new lows yet? Well, Bitcoin against the SPY right now, interestingly enough, is sort of bullish. And I say that on the 6-hour institutional time frame. Notice how we had this extremely bullish 6-hour candle. And so far, we've maintained all price action within that candle's range, assuming that we still could see fulfillment of this candle, which means Bitcoin can strengthen against the S&P 500. And so when we look at what's happening to Bitcoin, here's the facts. And I also updated some of our support levels below the previous all-time high, because to be quite honest with you, Snipers, this capitulation, of course, is causing us to look at further downside targets. Now, all of these downside targets that I'm going to mention are certainly not guaranteed, but if we see a break of 19,800 US dollars, the 2018 previous all-time high, the first major level of support will come around 17,204. I do expect Bitcoin to hold if we get to that level. Then below that, we have 13,970. And then all the way down here, we have 10,961. I think either one of these will be the bottom, or maybe we could have already found a bottom. But what we do know is that we are inside of a capitulation right now. What we really want to see is Bitcoin's weekly candle close above the 200-week moving average. That's what we're going to be monitoring into this weekend. We still have one more business day left for equity markets, so expect some volatility over the next 24 to 48 hours. The range resistance is still 23,795. If we want to assume any further bullish action, staying below 23,795 keeps the door open for further downside targets. And remember, Snipers, when you reach a destination, you will reach that destination and immediately turn right back around. The fact that we're having a cup of coffee consolidating just below the 2018 previous all-time high tells me that this is potentially not the final destination. We either rally up above 24,000 before getting more answers on whether we'll see further downside, or we are going to break this major support level. And what's interesting is if we look at what's happening to Bitcoin right now, we could also look at Ethereum when it first came to test its 2018 previous all-time high, and it did the same thing Bitcoin is doing right now. It just kind of stalled out here, saw about a 10% relief rally before it smashed right through to the next level of support, actually breaching down to the second and even coming down to the third level of support. So let's say Bitcoin does the same thing, and if it breaches below the 2018 previous all-time high and starts to stair step its way down into the $17,000 level, the $13,000 level. By the way, this is where Celsius would be liquidated on their position right now for their MakerDAO position, right around that $13,000 level. Let's say that happens. I expect us to eventually start to resume the trend back up after all of the liquidations are made. But none of that is guaranteed right now. What we just know is that the range that we're in has a support of 19,800, a resistance of 24,000 US dollars. That's what we're playing in. The DXY did drop over 1%. And so this is actually a very good puzzle piece on the table. Hopefully we start to see equity markets react to that. Maybe that's why we're currently in the green. And if you look at Ethereum, you can see we did lose the 1165 level, and now we're completely below it. If we get above 1165, that would be an early confirmation that maybe Bitcoin also has some upside left. And then when we look at some revolving parts, I know the Bank of Japan is announcing their rate hikes today. They are down 2.2% right now. That's not a good puzzle piece. The Euro 100 down 2% in futures markets, not a good puzzle piece. So we're still seeing a lot of bearish action with the interest rate hikes coming on board. But what we do know right now, snipers, is that Bitcoin is in a capitulation. It is potentially looking for a bottom. It could happen within the next 2 to 4 months. It could have already happened, but we are in that phase. We are in that moment where leverage is going to get cleared out, and now we can start to see a resumption of this overall trend back to the upside. And so let's see what happens, snipers. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support these midnight updates, and I will see you all next time. Snipers out.